There's a war going on, the books can't escape from the team. Call the morning steam, it's time to break one for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott, running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice or might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
All right, a pleasant good morning to you, coming from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam Show for Friday, April 4th. You can check the date. We know where we're at. We're at Final Four weekend, getting ready for tomorrow's big games in the NCAA Final Four. We'll also have weekend coverage of UFC action from Las Vegas here on the Sports Money Network. Hopefully you joined us last night over here on the channel and over at Kick as we covered PFL action last night. Exciting card, thanks to the guys putting some money in our pocket. We need some money in our pockets as the downfall continues here in society. We're running out of money quick here, and this is only Friday. You know it's coming Monday. It starts with the word black and it ends with Monday. So just get ready for that. No matter how bad things can go today, it's going to be even worse on Monday. I promise you that. I've lived through it. And if there's no turning back, well, Monday is going to be an absolute disaster. So let's try to win some sports bets this weekend and try to get some of that money back somehow. All right, enough whining and complaining again every day. Same story. So, all right, good morning, everyone. Let's get talking about our sports and sports betting from yesterday. We did see some great games, of course, there in the NCAA NIT with Chattanooga and Irvine, a worthy final of two teams that should have been in the NCAA tournament. They've screwed it up. There's no doubt, looking back on it now, need more mid-majors in the NCAA tournament. Yes, all the number one seeds ended up in there, but who else were going to pull off the upsets? Not those same teams that kept losing the games in the regular season. You need some of these teams like Chattanooga and UC Irvine in there to get a chance at least to upset the apple cart early. That's where the mistakes might have been with the NCAA committee. We did see the other action as well. We had the under in the Chattanooga Irvine championship game there yesterday. What are you going to do when the game goes overtime? And still we're able to get that final in there 85-84. I mean, hey, couldn't win them all, but with the overtime, there was going to be no chance. It was still a high-scoring game, but Chattanooga gets it done for Team Steam consensus yesterday. You guys had the call with Chattanooga yesterday, so great job by you guys. And, well, I had the winner in the college basketball crown with Central Florida over Cincinnati plus those points last night. And the other game, Keith had it on the show last night with the under in Villanova USC. So good call by Keith there yesterday on the show. That was a fun show last night with that PFL card, and those guys were able to come through with some great picks last night. Hopefully you were joining us over there. You could have swept the card if you rolled with Jeff last night. So great job by the guys. Say hello to some folks in the chat here today. and see if they have any solutions for us here in the world today. Rusha's he was for well, there you go, Rusha. We need, however we can get some money right now. It'd be a really good idea. Here, thanks for that, Rusha. Yeah, I think I figured it out all right that I did clinch that, but no big deal. They'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Give us some credit over here on the Sports Money Network. I'm representing the Sports Money Network over there in that contest a little bit. So, hey, everyone, there's Joe W., and here's my right-hand man. This is my Ed McMahon. It's Thomas Lewis. We're going down the ship together. Like this video. Subscribe to our channel, Sports Money, here on YouTube, fastest-growing sports betting channel on YouTube. I'll say it until I find another one. I may have found a couple of them, but nobody knows who they are. So this is your channel for sports and sports betting coverage every day to get started. Oldie here today. We try to pick some winners, but we also cover the landscape. Bobby Mack here today. Jermaine ready to go in blue. Die here today. Jermaine might be ready to go already with his picks today. Hopefully we got some great winners today. And it's wine time here today. The Lakers, hey, how about the game last night? Give Warriors credit last night with the win over the Lakers. A little bit concerning, certainly, because they did really take the Lakers there to task a little bit with that shooting, not only Curry, but Pajemski. We know he's good. He keeps showing it when he gets a chance. So a big win there last night for the Warriors against those Lakers. I know Wine Time knows there. And let's see what else we've got here today. Toucan, he's here. He had a good day in KBO action this morning. It was a fun card here overnight. You can catch some of the plays that I had over there today in the KBO. We had a little bit of action overnight with the VIP picks for me anyway here on the Sports Money, on my Sports Money winnable account there yesterday. Last night I had the LG Twins over the Kia Tigers. That one came home with an easy winner this morning, and Hanwha and Samsung under 9. It was 5-0. So took down a winner there. And also did go down with in the NPB. We had the Hawks over the Lions, but that one didn't work out. So 2-1 overnight with the Asian baseball action. And I'd also send out this morning my top plays for Live Golf Miami. Look, we had the picks yesterday for the PGA. We got a nice Live event here this week. The president made a speech last night at the Live event. Hopefully he told everybody will be all right, but put out my picks over there at winnable.com for Live Miami today. They're at Trump Doral this weekend, the 3-round event beginning today. So you can check those out at Winnable. Say hello to a few more folks, and I'll go over there and show you what it's all about. Who else? Celtics to smash here. What did Toucan? Oh, he had Toucan said afternoon. Okay, a little Euro baskets action here today. Taking Milano over Bologna, basically a pick'em or so. Maybe they're getting a point. Nasty Nate. Celtics smash, he says there. And we did see action in the NBA last night with some winners here on the show. I think Team Steam consensus as well yesterday with the win in the game between Memphis and Miami. We had Miami. Team Steam consensus had it, plus the points there yesterday, and I said go under in that game for a little double winner, huh? And also I had the under in the game between Portland and Toronto as a premium pick winner over at Winnable. Also, we had yesterday winner on the show here with Minnesota to rock over Brooklyn yesterday. They got it done with ease there. And Major League Baseball short card there yesterday, but we did deal out some winners here yesterday, including the Houston Astros over the Minnesota Twins. We had Brown there, and also you guys had a Team Steam over with the game between the Yankees and Arizona last night. I gave out the Yankees, said don't fret, they'll win one of these games. They got it done with those homers, and also you guys had the over there, Team Steam consensus. Also, I had a winner last night here. The total with Cincinnati, Milwaukee. I said that Cortez would get back on track a little bit, and he did in that under Cincinnati and Milwaukee. Over on the ice, we had a winner here on the show with the Ottawa Senators over Tampa Bay there yesterday to get things started at that 2-1 victory. Also, we had the under here on the show, Boston and Montreal game to go under. Utah last night, we gave them out. We went with Utah over the Kings, and they got it done there as Kings continue to struggle on the road, and Kings got the win. We had, what was I thinking there? The Kings were able to get one done, as a matter of fact. We did have the Calgary Flames, is what it was, on the puck line there yesterday. Also under Winnipeg and Golden Knights, and a premium pick winner with San Jose puck line yesterday for some action on the ice. And we're going to talk about it today with our Major League Baseball card. We've got daytime action here in the major leagues for sure today. Some series openers, some day games today here. And we've also got huge NBA card, 10 games, 3 games on the ice. And we're going to take a look at the women's Final Four here getting underway today. So we've got big games in the women's Final Four today. For sure, we'll have a couple picks in those games tonight, in the women's Final Four. All right. And those games are being played in Tampa, Florida. Okay, let's say hello to a few more folks here in just a moment. But first, you can get my picks for today over at winnable.com. Join me over at winnable.com for more plays for days. For just 56 cents a day, you can get more plays from me here every day over at winnable.com/Ramon. Use the promo code STEAM to save 20% off premium pick packages over there. Really, it's just a way to support me here on the channel and get some more plays from me on a big day. Why not have some extra plays in your pocket when you subscribe over at winnable.com? I send out a couple packages a day. I just told you how to get some free picks from me as well. You can subscribe and be a member of the channel here at Sports Money and get picks from us as well on the posts tab when you're a member there, and get access to our playbook for UFC action on Saturday. The guys get all their notes together. They put all the plays together. All you got to do is be a subscriber to the channel, access the UFC playbook for this weekend. We also have our shows and videos available previewing the action here this weekend, including VB MMA picks, where VB and I and our guest this week looked over the fight card here for Saturday night in that main event action from Las Vegas. So should be a good weekend of action here from Las Vegas with that main event here this weekend. Featherweights going at it. You've got, of course, Josh Emmett going up against LaRon Murphy in anticipation of next week's featherweight title bout. Emmett and Murphy, top 10 contenders this week. Get our previews here with VB MMA picks and First Strike videos up, ready, and available for this Saturday's action. And also you can get the video for our NRL coverage. There's a big game. The big game, I believe, is tonight. So you're going to want to check out that NRL video as they get ready for the big match, I believe, tonight. The guys had some other previews in there as well, and some props, but you're going to want to check it out here for the action, because I believe the big game tonight in NRL action here I want to get the time right here if I can. Should give Dan and Smythe a little more respect for the show that they did. But tonight, the Titans and the Dolphins at 2:30 a.m. Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Pacific. So check out that as well from the guys there in the NRL. All right, hopefully that's okay. Got that one in there. And so let's say hello to a few more folks, see what's going on here today. Thank you for getting ready and joining me here. Louise Textiles as well was here, had some fun. And Blues ready to go for the women's Final Four tonight. Here's Gorky. Where you been, Gorky? He's here and he's got action here. I'm involved in a tennis match here right now. I think nothing I sent out on the here, but Kaboli going up again. We got some clay court action here. And Gorky's got some plays. Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, and there's Thomas talking about that exciting final last night. All right, we got to get started with the show here and start to preview the action for this evening here or today. Let's go right to what we want to talk about first, Major League Baseball. Yeah, we got the other sports wrapping things up, but we know we're in the young baseball season. So here we go at the being bottom of the hour right now. Time to lose a couple more $1,000 here in the market. So let's pick some winners and get going and start with the show. I think that's everything we need to know for today. We'll talk about some of those games last night, but I think we covered it pretty well with the coverage on the YouTube channel last night and over to at Kick. So, okay, let's go. With the White Sox taking on the Tigers here to start things off today with this one. You got Jonathan Cannon here going for the White Sox, going up against Jack Flaherty. So far, both teams lost opening game for these respective starters here to start the season. But they have Detroit here, 240. Maybe like we're just getting back to normal for the White Sox, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we want to just throw them out yet here, right? If you're going to be your best, look, these are still major league franchises, and it's not necessarily August or September here just yet. Now, I get it. These are still the White Sox. So, but Detroit, they're not bringing, they're not knocking anybody's socks off here just yet, are they? Doesn't feel like they're worthy of this kind of favoritism here. Cannon was pretty good in his season opening game here to get going. So I don't know. We'll talk about the game. You guys get your picks ready here. I'm just sweating out how this market's starting off. So for Cannon, good ERA, no runs allowed so far. Did have a little bit of trouble with the walks in the opener, but a 1.4 whip, 235 batting average allowed. For Flaherty here, 3.18 ERA in that first start, 158 batting average allowed, and a 154 BABIP. Both teams with 2-4 records coming in so far this season. And Detroit coming off the series win over Seattle. Meanwhile, for the White Sox, they did lose a couple of games to the Twins in a 3-game set coming in. So I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be too thrilled about any kind of 240 action, I feel like, just yet. So we can go to the chat and I'm sure that there'll be some supporters here for the Tigers with Flaherty, but Cannon has a little bit of a prospect. Let's see what you guys think here in this one. And we've got, I think Toucan said it's just Landers got the win here. Twisted's got a parlay today with the Cardinals, the Padres, the Rays, and the Phillies. And Thomas says he does like Detroit. Luis, Tigers run line. Here's Fernando on the Tigers. I'm okay. I know. And Thomas says just got a consensus already. You guys love Detroit here in this one, so I better pivot to the total because I couldn't sway you guys off of this Detroit team in a big favorite situation here on their 2 wins and 4 losses, same record as the White Sox. And I get it. The White Sox aren't going to be any good this year, but I wouldn't want any part of this kind of number at this time. So I'll pivot to the total here. Let you guys take your shot here with the Tigers. I'm sure they'll crush them. So I'll look at the total here in this matchup. And for me, I'm going to go with the under in this one between Chicago and Detroit. Flaherty does have pretty good numbers against some of the guys in this White Sox expected starting lineup here today. 40 at-bats, 8 hits, 200 batting average, 265 OBP, and a 550 OPS. So I'll go with the under here. If the Tigers are going to win, I'm sure Flaherty is going to be the one to shut them down. I don't know if you guys trust this offense that much here. And maybe Twisted could consider the White Sox here, and Thomas is on the under. So consensus pick with the Detroit run line. Lay it today, you guys said, and I'll take the under. All right, let's just keep it going then here. We'll find something we can agree on. And the Cardinals will take on the Red Sox here with Eric Fetty going up against Walker Buehler here in this one. You've got the Red Sox favored tonight, $1.40 or so. Let's take a look at the current line here. I didn't even look at the first one. Was up to $2.55 with the Tigers, and the total was about 7. So in this one, you got the Red Sox here, $1.25, $1.30 right now. And so a little bit of a move maybe to the Cardinals here. The total is definitely about a flat 9 here right now. But yeah, I think that's a little bit of a move to the underdog here with Eric Fetty here. Take a look at some of these numbers with these guys. You got Fetty coming in here 1-0 so far for Fetty. And you guys, right now, I just want to mention it. Hey, just hold off on your Detroit bets. The White Sox are taking the steam here. So maybe somebody was listening to me out there a little bit. But nonetheless, you're going to be able to get a little bit better price. We already said it went all the way up to $2.55. So if anything, we're only going back to the regular price, it looks like, for Detroit. But the line service is reporting steam right now on the White Sox in that game. Okay. So with Fetty here, 1-0 with a 1.5 ERA in that first start, 333 whip, and a 100 batting average. Kansas did well in that game. No walks for Walker Buehler here. He's 0-1 with an 8.31 ERA in that first start of the season. So far with Boston, not so great there, right? But nonetheless, Boston right now with a little 2-game winning streak here coming in over Baltimore. They won the series 2-1 for St. Louis. They actually lost their 3-game set to the Angels. And let's take a look here with the Cardinals offense kind of clicking so far, doing pretty well despite that series loss. They're averaging 7 runs a game. They've gone over in 5 of their 6 games so far this season. The Red Sox, however, averaging just 3.9 runs per game and allowing 3.6 runs per game. The Red Sox are 2-5 to the under so far this season. Cardinals 4-2. Red Sox come in with a record of 3-4 overall here to start the season. So we'll go to the chat here maybe and see what you have when the Cardinals take on the Red Sox here tonight.
Lineup.
Today, well, yeah, wake up here, get the right matchup today. And I'm just kind of catching up to it here and see what you guys have. And we're going to start it off with Twisteds on the Cardinals. Boston for Thomas. Luis is Cards. Blue is Cards. Robert likes the over here. And the Irish King had a pretty good day, he said there. He likes St. Louis in this one. The Irish King also went with Detroit in that other matchup. Fernando, first 5 under here. Bueller's no good, says Blue. Jermaine likes the Cards team total over. Jerry says, give me Michigan tonight in the UFL. All right, Jerry. I'll take Michigan. If Jerry's on Michigan, I'll take Michigan. Let's go, Jerry. They're getting the points at home against Birmingham. That might be our UFL coverage today. I did put it on the banner, but I really didn't know if I had a pick necessarily in the game. So I'm rolling with Jer. All right. And let's see, Cash Kane here today. And Thomas says the Cardinals are a consensus play here in this one. They took the steam here, obviously, so far. So Team Steam says, give me the Cardinals here in this one. Okay, listen to that. And I'll maybe roll with the total here a little bit in this matchup today, and I am actually going to take the over in this one between St. Louis and Boston. I'll try the over in this one. You guys are on the Cardinals here. And I think that'll probably do it for that game then, if I'm going to get in there on the over in this one with the Cardinals and the Red Sox. All right, Thomas on the over as well. Okay. Next up, here in the afternoon action on a Friday, it's you can't have a Friday without the Cubs playing at home against the Padres, the undefeated Padres, 7-0 coming in right now. But they're a big underdog today against Shohei Imanaga. Here, Imanaga $1.65 in this one. We are getting the lineups out also just released for that early start between Washington and Detroit here. See if we can get these lineups rattled off real quick in that matchup. We said that steam came in, so I'm thinking somebody might be missing from the Detroit lineup, the way that line moved here, and the lineup is coming out right now for Detroit. Malloy, Carpenter, Green, Torkelson, Keith, McKinstry, Dingler, Sweeney, and Baez. For the White Sox, Vargas, Robert, Benintendi, Vaughn, Matone, Sosa, Tice, Baldwin, and Jankowski. Also, Tyler Alexander getting announced as a starter here for Milwaukee today. I think we knew that was going to be the case. That's who I already punched in the text, in the graphic. So just making it official here. Left-hander Tyler Alexander getting the start for the Brewers against the Reds today. All right, Padres. Been pretty good, Bam, let me tell you, for the Padres so far in their 7-0 record, allowing just 1.6 runs per game. I believe that's probably the best in the major leagues, right? The bullpen, when the Padres bullpen gave up a run the other night in I think it was the 7th inning, it was the first time they had given up a run out of the bullpen since the 4th inning of opening day. So Padres pitching on point, best in the league, it feels like, to a certain extent so far, with a great bullpen. For Imanaga, he is 1-0. He has pitched in 2 games. He has a 0.82 ERA. He's faced pretty good opponents. 0.81 whip, 0.83 batting average against the 100 BABIP. For Randy Vasquez here for the Padres, they did win his first start. He got no decision, but allowed no runs. Did have some walks in that game for sure, but Padres have won them all so far. So can they do it here as an underdog today? Does seem like a pretty high price when you're going up against a second hottest team in baseball. But the Cubs are off to a pretty good start as well here. Right now, 5-4, but the 3-game winning streak coming in after they swept the Athletics. in Sacramento with the offense really clicking. 6.7 runs per game so far for this Brewers offense. They've gone 6-2-1 to the over so far. The Padres are 2-4-1 to the under so far this season. The widely reported steam did come in on the under here. Imanaga's had some pretty solid numbers against this anticipated Padres lineup. He's faced some of the guys and 23 at-bats, 5 hits, a 217 batting average, 479 OPS for Shota Imanaga going up against this anticipated Padres lineup here today. Let's go to the chat, see what you guys have in this one with the Padres taking on the Cubs. And we've got Thomas is on the Cubs today. Irish King likes the Padres on the money line. Cash Kane has the Cubs on the run line. Luis is on the Padres. This one's back and forth. Twisted's on the Padres here in this one. And Blues on the Padres here. Jermaine Padres team total over. And Irish King says these Dodgers and Padres, no team, two teams had not gone undefeated. They may have overstated it the other day, but there was some. Here's the thing: no two teams have ever been both 7-0 in the same division to start a season. Now, remember, there's only been divisions since like 1969, but Thomas here says the Padres are a consensus play. Okay, I don't know. I thought I saw some Cubs in there. We definitely saw some Cubs. Thomas was on the Cubs. Cash Kane was on the Cubs. But maybe it was mostly Padres as an underdog, obviously, right? So, Stony Mob here, liking the Cards there, I think. And Jerry says, they're on the road now. Maybe things are going to be a little bit different for the Padres hitting the road against these hot Cubs bats, right? And the Terrell's giving us some statistical data here. Jermaine has taken Imanaga's walks over there. All right, and let's see here. That might be it from you guys. That is, you guys are saying Padres consensus. So, okay. Hey, who am I to complain? Oh, boy, you guys. All right, I'll move to the total here, I think. Let you guys keep going with your hot streak right now. And I'm going to go under in the game here between the Padres and the Cubs today. That widely reported steam came in the under. And look at that total at 6.5 over -1. Could be down to 125. In fact, I'm seeing some mostly 7s out there right now. So you can grade me at 6.5 here. But the total here, I'm on the under with the Padres and the Cubs. Always, hey, we're in Chicago, but better take a look at the wind situation here today with the winds blowing straight in from center field pretty much 10 miles an hour today. And the temperature in the mid-40s here in this one. But, you got, to me, right now, 2 of the top 5 lineups in the major leagues. Remember, I've graded this Cubs lineup pretty good. And against Vasquez, you got to think, I know I said under, but, for the Cubs, Happ, Tucker, Bush, they're all in a pretty good spot here against Vasquez today. So, Padres, I've got them number 5 lineup right now. Okay, we'll move on here a little bit. Robert says maybe you could take the Padres run line and go under here today. All right, I went with the under. I'm going with his totals. You guys are already 3 for 3 on the consensus sides. Baseball, we're seeing a lot more just agreement in the chat. This is what I'm experiencing here compared to like basketball, the start of a basketball season or hockey or whatever. Blue Jays taking on the Mets here in this one. You got Gaussman going up against McGill here in this one. You got the Mets favored $1.30. The total 7.5, maybe shaded to the under, -115. It's the Toronto Blue Jays with the winning streak coming in right now of 4 games overall. They swept Washington after closing out the series against Baltimore with a win. So Toronto right now 5-2 with a 4-game winning streak. The Mets are 3-3. They've been alternating wins and losses. They did come in here last out for the Mets with the series victory over the Miami Marlins and won that series finale on the road 6-5 to improve to 3-3 overall coming in for the Mets here. And Tyler McGill comes in 1-0 with a 1.8 ERA, 0.8 whip, 176 batting average against. For Gaussman, he's 1-0 with a 3 ERA, 6.667. The whip, 150 batting average against. Both pitchers showing pretty good control so far. Now, Toronto did go over in that first game. Meanwhile, the Mets are in the start for Gaussman, and the Mets went under in McGill's start. The teams are combined 5-8 to the under so far. Good pitching from the Mets. They're allowing just 3.2 runs per game. Offensive, not great. They're 3.8 runs per game. Blue Jays a little higher scoring so far. But they're 4.6 runs per game, allowing 4.4 runs per game. We'll go to the chat in this one between the Blue Jays and the Mets here this afternoon. See what you guys have in this one. Mets have won just one of the last 5 meetings between these two teams at home, dating back to last season. And let's check out here from the chat. Not much, it looks like, in this one here so far. Thomas is on the Mets. Twisted's on the Mets. Nasty Nate likes the Red Sox to smash in their game. And Terrell says Fetty and Crochet. No doubt about it with Crochet, right? I mean, we saw it coming. Not everyone did, though, in the chat, it felt like. All right, we're not going to see, I don't think, a consensus play here for sure, but I'll probably still look at the total for me here in this one. With no, I'm going to go to this. I got to pick a side. Come on, I got to pick a side. I think for McGill here, he's got some pretty good numbers against this expected Toronto lineup so far. For McGill, 34 at-bats, 7 hits against this lineup, a 206 batting average, and a 303 slugging percentage here. And I think McGill, and I think this lineup too against Gaussman. You look at the anticipated Mets lineup, Gaussman, 72 at-bats against this team, allowing 23 hits. That's a 319 batting average and a 1058 OPS. So Gaussman's actually gotten hit by this anticipated lineup here today. And some of the some of these bats, some pretty good numbers here against Kevin Gaussman. You got some definite good numbers here. I was going to kind of rattle them off a little bit with Lindor here. Let me see. Lindor, 9 for 3, 3 for 9 with a home run. You got also, see if we can get some more of those guys in there. Pete has a double, I believe, with a couple of RBIs. Soto, just 8 for 15, by the way, against Kevin Gaussman. So, all right, appreciate that. Robert's on the Mets. Luis is on the Mets. Hey, I'm on the New York Mets today. Give me the Mets. Here is my pick on the morning steam show over this hot Toronto team looking good. Toucan likes Bobichette here as well. Look at, well, I'm on a consensus here. All right, well, I would have went to the total. I missed it. Sorry about that, Thomas. Good job. 4 games, 4 consensus picks. Nobody here. We're just unanimous in all of our picks. This is amazing. All right. Baseball's easy. We're going to be rich. We're going to have to be rich now here as we keep on losing this money over here. Let's see. Irish King on the Mets says, what's up, human? Hello. Great job last night. We had a lot of fun there. Wish those guys could have talked me off that underdog. I could have won them all there last night. Fun time. We're going to do it again. I think with those guys there. All right. Athletics taking on the Rockies here. It's not going to bother the Athletics to go to, well, now the elevation maybe, but look, playing in that Athletics park's just like playing in Colorado. It feels like, even though they haven't adjusted the totals just yet. Athletics are a favorite here in this one, $1.20, 9.5 here. What's going on? Well, the Athletics are just 2-5. They're not great. The Rockies are 1-5. Both teams on 4-game losing streaks coming in. Look, the A's. I have not any futures yet except one. I took the A's to win the division. That's not going to happen. These guys aren't any good, but I was just kind of going, I don't think the American League West is going to be that great. Sure, Seattle, Rangers, they're both going to be decent. They're both way better than this A's team. I was just, I think it might be the worst division. I was thinking maybe the A's could catch lightning in a bottle here a little bit, but that's not going to be the case, especially if they can't match up. Now, one thing I do want to say real quick about the A's playing in Sacramento, and is it real with the run boost there? Even though the totals really haven't gone up yet, we've seen the games go over there. Well, the A's played in that big spacious ballpark, right, in Oakland for all those years, and they couldn't hit many home runs. They've already smashing home runs in their new park, in the Sacramento minor league park, that they weren't doing it all in the Oakland stadium. So they'll adjust here, but for this one, we're only at 9.5 in Colorado. So we'll take a look at this matchup here. Look, maybe the A's are the better team actually here than Colorado, especially with Beto here on the mound. Although Feltner has good numbers against this anticipated Athletics lineup, Feltner does have shake out with some decent numbers here. Faced a couple guys. I don't think it's any real big deal. More likely against Osvaldo Beto. A couple guys have knocked him around a little bit. Not a lot of guys faced actually in the other lineup. Athletics got swept in that series by the Cubs. They allowed 35 runs in 3 games and scored just 9 runs. Meanwhile, for Colorado, they got swept by the Phillies. They only scored 1 run in each of the 3 games. So you do have problems right now with this Rockies lineup, averaging just 1.8 runs per game. They're allowing just 4 runs per game so far. Athletics, they're a long night with the guys there last night. They're allowing 6.1 runs per game and scoring 3.3 runs per game so far this season. Rockies are 1-5 to the under thus far. Beto is 1-0 with a 1.8 ERA, 1.4 the whip, 188 batting average allowed. For Feltner, they did lose his first start, but he has a 3.6 ERA. Let's go to the chat and see if you want to play this one today. Afternoon action, Athletics and Rockies in Colorado to get things going in Denver. And we'll go to the chat and see what you guys have in this one. Okay, Toucan's going to fade the chat here in this one. And they've been pretty close, though. It seems like they are getting some winners, just not able to close the deal on all of them, I don't think. Here's Twisted, A's money line, and Thomas is on the A's here as well. Fernando's on the A's. Twisted says, Beto missed the boat that day he left the shack. And Cash Kane says Rockies will get their first win of the season here. All righty. And at 9.5, I might take an under here right now. All right. Toucan, maybe on the Detroit run line there. He's like, I can't do that. Robert's on the under too. I'm on the under here today. Give me the under with the A's and the Rockies in Colorado. And we'll see how that goes. Thomas is on the under here as well. All right. Robert says going to be cold in Denver here today. It's only April 4th. How cold can it be? So far, it'll be about mid 30s, mid to high 30s. Let's get 37 degrees at first pitch. Wind blowing in from center field, 10 miles an hour, and only gets stronger throughout the day there. And Twisted says, thinking under, but it's still Coors Field. Here's Rockies run line for Cash Kane, and Luis is on the Rockies here. So a little bit of a split for sure, looks like, in the chat. All right. I've got a couple more day games here today with the Yankees and Max Fried on the mound here for the Yanks. $1.60 today. 7.5 over 20. Looks like this one's kind of gone down here. I thought a little bit. Feels like for sure here. 7.5 over 20, but has dipped from the 8s here for sure in this one with Max Fried on the mound. Has some good numbers against this anticipated Pirates lineup today for Max Fried. 93 at-bats, 23 hits allowed for a 247 batting average, but pretty good number, pretty decent numbers for the bigger sample size against this anticipated Pirates lineup. Of course, Fried was Braves pitcher for there quite a while, faces some of these guys over on the Pirates. Pirates come in 2-5 here, but they did win last time out, snap a losing streak. Pirates got the win over Tampa 4-2 to snap a 4-game losing streak. Arizona got that win last night 9-7. It wasn't easy to hold off Arizona, but they did do it. Also, this Yankees lineup does have some pretty okay numbers, I believe, against Mitch Keller here, a few of them anyway. Keller, 62 at-bats, 21 hits. That's a 339 batting average against this anticipated Yankees lineup. Also a 930 slugging percentage, so definitely knocked him around here a little bit in this one. Let's see what you have in here. Yankees only $1.60, shall I say? Give the Pirates some respect. Do the bookmakers today. And we've got Thomas is on the Yankees. Blue is on the team total over here. Cash Kane says Pirates plus a 1.5 there, or maybe plus money. Luis is on the Yankees here in this one. And, hey, they're taking the bats with them, right? So I know the Sharps may prefer Pittsburgh here, but I don't know if I do. Or Robert likes the under here. I can't disagree right now with that one, Robert. And let's see. I'm going to take the run line here. Yankees run line for me. I'm going to lay it here. I think this, I think this shit's real right now. So we'll see. I mean, not going to win them all. It's baseball. And maybe the Pirates can grab a win here and stun these Yankees right now. But I'm going to take the Yankees on the run line. Jermaine, Yankees team total over versus all righties, he says he's going to do here. All right. I know the Sharps are going to prefer the Pirates here, but not me. Call me square. I'm taking the Yankees to get them today. Look, the Pirates won Keller's first start, and Thomas says he also thinks the Yankees here run line is a consensus play from the chat. I mean, we had Luis on him, we had Jermaine on him, we had Thomas on him, so, and only Cash Kane there. All right, give me the Yankees here. I'm stuck on it now. I guess I like the total as a premium anyways. So, all right, here we go. That's not for you guys. You guys, I'm just lamenting another, $8,000, $9,000 off the old retirement account over here. I'll never retire now. I better sell some picks. Go over to winnable.com, subscribe. Unless you're with me and losing all the money, then don't. Let's just try to win. All right, Twisted's on the Yankees and the under. One more day game here today. Let's take a look. See what we got with the Giants taking on the Mariners here. You got Bryce Miller here going for the Mariners up against Justin Verlander of the Giants here. And Verlander favored $1.50 or higher, 7.5 over 20 here in this one. How will JV fare? He's had a pretty good numbers against this anticipated lineup of the Mariners today. For JV comes in with 115 at-bats against this anticipated lineup, 18 hits, just a 157 batting average, just 2 home runs in those 115 at-bats. But, that's a little bit of an extended career against some of these guys. And, Verlander, he's still pretty good, right? I think we all can agree he's pretty good. But you're still getting a little bit older here. And some of these guys, against Rodriguez, 4 for 22. Cal Raleigh, 1 for 17 against him. And we'll see here, Tellez, 1 for 6. We'll see who finalizes in that lineup today, but I'm just going off the anticipated guys in the lineup here for Seattle. Rodriguez, Raleigh, we'll see who else makes the lineup there out of those guys, but they definitely have some numbers here, not great against them. I've got that Mariners team right now probably in the top 10 lineups here to come in. It looks like a pretty good matchup for the Mariners actually here. Let's see what you guys have and go with it right now. All right, the matchup between Seattle and San Francisco here. Blues on the Giants. Thomas is on the Giants. Jermaine says Castillo starting Ramon. And that could be the case, actually. Right now, I'm showing that it is indeed Luis Castillo. So let me update that there. That's pretty important. I did have these typed in last night. Thank you for that. So I guess I could change the preview a little bit, but I don't think I was quite anticipated. I'm going to have to make my call without that, I think, there, because I was going with Miller for the most part. And let me see here. I might just scratch the way I talked about the game coming in and just address it from the standpoint of look, if Castillo's in there. Oh, what happened? I changed the graphic here. There we go. If Castillo is in there, let me look real quick. I think I probably want, even if this is kind of I don't know if I'd call it short notice, but I think Seattle can hang in there. What's the run line, though? It's probably not great. Probably just have to, I kind of want to take Seattle here. It's minus 175. Go ahead, chat. Let me get you guys in there a little bit, and I'll run Castillo through the computer here. Make sure we got the right pick, I guess. Let's see what you got, chat. Thank you for that. Okay, here we go. Fernando under, Cash Cane Giants. Robert with the under here. Twisted on the Giants. Jermaine says they'll have Miller going tomorrow. Hello to Donut today. And that'll do it for this one. Man, I like this price for Seattle. I think it's kind of an even game here. Philly Eagle Flyer. I'm going to take Seattle here as my play. Give me the Mariners. I rate this game pretty even right now. So if Verlander is going to be $1.50 or so against Castillo, is that still the price? No. Yeah, it is. Well, maybe $1.45, but still, for the most part, it's $1.45. Give me Seattle. I got to have Seattle in this one. All right, that's it for the day games. Let's go to the night card now in Major League Baseball. Hey, I'm watching a little golf action here today from San Antonio. We saw the picks there from our champion Jeff right now, and he did have a couple of those leaders out there right now at the Texas Valero Open. It is uh, Sam Ryder, 7 under par, but he's 2 over for the day. He was leading the tournament, remember. Keith Mitchell scored. It's a little bit tough out there today. I don't know. Still early, but it's still overcast. And the numbers do have Daniel Berger, 2 under par for the day, 4 under par for the tournament. Ben Griffin's up there as well right now. And a move here today by Trey Mullinax again. So Fleetwood for Jeff, 4 under, 4 strokes back. He's live. All right, let's go to the night card now. Here with the Dodgers taking on the Phillies, and the Dodgers are just 140. Yeah, you look at they're playing the Phillies here. You got Luzardo. In fact, Dodgers are down to $1.25 here today. Who likes discounts? Hey, Phillies are at home. They certainly are looking pretty good so far with their start as well. Don't sleep on them. The total here is mostly 8 flat. So let me update that line and put it back here on the screen with the undefeated Dodgers and Yoshi Yamamoto coming in. Dodgers undefeated so far, but they're up against a great club here, obviously, in the Phils today. And the Phils are off to a red hot start as well at 5-1. So for Yamamoto here, he's 1-0. The Dodgers are 2-0 with Yamamoto on the mound. 2.7 ERA, 1.1 WHIP. 273 BABIP coming in for Luzardo. He's mowing them down in that first start for sure. The Phillies won that game to start the season. Got 3.6 ERA, but man, he's striking out a lot of hitters there in that opener. Did a pretty good job. Phillies come in here with the sweep of Colorado. Like I said, they outscored them 14-3 in that series. Meanwhile, the Dodgers, was a thriller with the game-winning home run last time by Shohei Ohtani. And Dodgers here, though, $1.25 on the road tonight against the Phils. See what you have here. And should be a great weekend series here between these two for sure coming in. All right. Can you do it with the Phillies here? Let's take a look at the chat. Cash game liking the Phillies on the run line. Even Luis is on the Phillies. How about it? Philly Eagle Flyer says Phillies have been tied in the second inning so far in 5 of 6 games, but maybe can't do it here. Thomas says Dodgers and over. Twisted likes the Padres on the money line tonight. Here's Cash Kane says Dodgers have injuries here coming in. I'll peek at it, but I think we're getting some ins and outs here. Freddie, of course, has hit the injured list with that ankle injury, so he's missing some time here. Maybe that's part of the line move. Let me see here. We got today also Nolan Gorman hitting the injured list for the Cardinals. That announced just a few moments ago. All right, here, let's see. Does Ohtani hit a home run? Irish King says. Twisted's on the Phillies. You guys are loving the Phillies here in this one. Irish King says Phillies first 3 and first 5. And Robert likes the Phillies here as well. We're only down $10,000 today alone right now on the 401k. Yay! All right, Phillies here. for, man, a lot of Phillies support in this one. I don't think I disagree necessarily with the guys. I'm going to take the Philadelphia Phillies. Let's beat these Dodgers today. Give me the Phillies. Maybe the value's out the window here on the move, or maybe without Freddie here. Fernando says, Phillies own the Dodgers. Nobody owns the Dodgers, do they? Phillies have won 6 of the last 7 games at home against the Dodgers and 6 of the last 7 overall here coming into this one. Thomas says that's a consensus play. Okay, I'm on it then. I'm on it with the chat this time. All right, Robert might want to go under here. Terrell says the Pirates are going to get fried by Fried. All right, go Phillies. I thought the Dodgers were going to go 162-0. Diamondbacks and the Nationals here with Brandon Pfaadt on the mound. Road favorite here today against the Washington Nationals here in this one. You've got Pfaadt coming in with a 4.5 ERA. Jake Urban, 3.6. The earned run average coming in for Pfaadt. The Arizona Diamondbacks lost his first start. He has a 4.5 ERA and a 1.16 whip. Diamondbacks averaging 6.4 runs per game. They are 4-3 coming in here off of a loss last time out, but they did win that series over the Yankees. For Washington, they were swept by Toronto on the road. Here they come in with a record of just 1-5. Diamondbacks are 4-2-1 to the over. Nationals 2-4 to the under. Irvin 3.6 ERA, 1.8 the whip, 350 batting average against in this one. And Washington has beaten up a little bit on Brandon Pfaadt here, and a few guys have based this lineup so far for Pfaadt. A couple guys have knocked him around a little bit here, but let's go to the chat and see what you have in this matchup between Arizona and Washington here today. Nighttime action now here in the major leagues on Friday night. All right, chat. Right now, we are seeing some steam come in. Major League Baseball reported just moments ago. Under as the move. Athletics and Colorado. I said go under, and now that total's moving lower. Could see this total here going to 9 in the game between the Athletics and Colorado. Let's go to the chat in our matchup here with Arizona and Washington, and see what the chat members have to say. The chat all-stars here. Twisted might be on the Nationals here. Blue says Diamondbacks, team total overs. They'll hit this right-hander today. Cash Kane liking the Nationals. Thomas is on Washington here as well. Robert liking the under here in this one with Pfaadt and Irvin here. And I got to take the Arizona Diamondbacks in this one at $1.45 here. You get cheaper than that. $1.45 is probably the highest price. We'll leave it out there, but you give me Arizona here today over Washington. Arizona obviously looked pretty decent in that Yankees series. It even gave him a little bit of scare there on the end. So I'm going to try Arizona here in this one. And Tariq's with me, taking Arizona today. And let's go to the next one, because it's a team that people are talking about a little bit. No team's ever started 0-7 and made it to the playoffs in Major League history. That's what the Atlanta Braves are faced with right now. Now, look, 7 games. You got 155 games left, but these are the Atlanta Braves. Certainly not going to say that they couldn't be the first team to ever do that. But do the Braves have problems here with this lineup a little bit? Right. Yeah, I mean, we know they do right now, but will it be kind of long-term? You got Max Meyer here for the Marlins. Spencer Schwellenbach for the Braves, and big favorite here. So Braves should get on track today, but minus 230 here for the Braves in this losing streak. Miami's Miami's off to a decent start here, the 4-3 record. We know they've been pretty exciting wins, that's for sure. They did lose that series to the Mets, 2 out of 3 last time out. Meanwhile, the Braves, of course, got swept by the Padres and the Dodgers so far for a rough start to the season. But for Max Meyer here, he's got a 1.59 ERA. They won his first start. It did go under. 1.05 whip, 286 BABIP coming in. Schwellenbach, Braves lost his first start, but he did not allow a run. Looked pretty good in that in his first outing. Braves are 2-4-1 to the under so far, but averaging just 2 runs per game. Marlins are averaging 4.1 runs a game, allowing 4.6 runs per game overall. Let's go to the chat and take a look at the game here. Luis says, what were the pick from you, Ramon? We all went with the consensus play on Philly. And then on that Nats game, I went with Arizona. I don't know what everybody else was doing. All right, here is Cash Kane on the Braves. Blue is on the Marlins here. Thomas is on the Philadelphia Phillies, it looks like. Twisted says the Braves have a pitching advantage, but he'll take the Marlins here. Maybe that price there. Irish King, Atlanta run line. Robert's on the over. And that might be it from you guys in this one between Miami and Atlanta. Now, Atlanta has hit Meyer a little bit. Some of these guys in this lineup, they are 10 for 31 against Meyer with 3 home runs. So Atlanta's touched him up here a little bit. Steam did come in on the under. The line right now is still mostly 230-ish and 7.5, maybe slightly juiced to the under. Yeah, pretty much juiced to the under everywhere here. So, all right, I'll make my call in this one between Miami and Atlanta tonight with Vaught going up against Irvin here. Tariq is on the Marlins run line and the under. Oops. Oh, okay. And for me, I'm gonna take the run line as well. I'm gonna take Atlanta. Give me the run line. I'll lay it as my pick here on the Morning Steam Show. All right. Irish King, Texas money line and team total over, and screw all the night games. Orioles and Royals here in this one. You got Dean Kramer going up against Seth Lugo in a closely rated matchup here tonight. Lugo and the Royals, $1.15, maybe $1.20. Total mostly 8 flat. Mostly 8 flat, I'm pretty sure, out there right now. No, 8 juice to the look at that. That's a whole half a run. It's mostly 8 under 15 or 20. So since I typed this in about 6, 7, 8 hours ago or something like that, it's gone down a half a run. It looks like here between the Orioles and the Royals here. Orioles are 3-4, lost 2 straight. Royals are 2-4 and lost 2 straight coming in. The Royals lost the series to Milwaukee 2-1. They won the first game 11-1, but they were outscored 8-2 in the final 2 games. Meanwhile, for Baltimore, they beat Boston in the first game of the series and lost the final 2 as Boston won the series 2-1. So both teams a little bit mediocre coming in here right now, but for the Royals and the Orioles and Dean Kramer, they did win his first start despite an 8.44 ERA and 1.3 WHIP in his start. Orioles are 5-2 to the over so far, averaging 5.1 runs per game and allowing 4.9 runs. Lugo, 5.4 ERA, but Kansas City won his first start of the season as well. 1.4 WHIP, 250 batting average, and BABIP A little bit of trouble with the walks again for Lugo here. The widely reported steam did come in on the under in this one. We'll see what you have here with Baltimore taking on Kansas City here in this one. Baltimore's won 11 of the last 16 matchups between these two teams over the last dating back to the last couple of seasons here, actually. 13 of the last 17 meetings between the two teams here in Kansas City have gone over. Let's go to the chat, see what you have tonight with Baltimore and Kansas City here. And we've got started off with Thomas Lewis, and he says take Kansas City. Luis is on the Orioles. Twisted is on the Orioles here. Spoons is here today. Thank you, Spoons. He likes the Marlins plus a half a run in that matchup with Atlanta. Thomas going the under in the Baltimore game. Blues on the Royals. Tariq is on Baltimore, and so is Robert McCormick. And look at a lot of Orioles here, but Toucan likes the Royals. Fernando on the over, and Ocaps is here today. All right, so maybe a little back and forth. I don't know if it's very consensus-y. Let's see here. Let me make my call here in this one. Cash Cane, thanks. Jermaine likes the Orioles. Maybe you guys are preferring the Orioles. It feels like here a little bit. But I'm going to take the Kansas City Royals here at home. Give me the Royals here over Baltimore. Uh-oh! Oh, no! Well, I've been getting the better of this one for a while here now. So you guys are on the Baltimore Orioles. I'm on the Kansas City Royals. Uh-oh! I've been winning it. I've been winning it every time right now. It's got to be 4 in a row, maybe more. All right, that's okay. I spoke too soon. I should have waited. I saw a lot of Orioles in there, and maybe I should have went with the total here in this one. But I'm stuck now, going up against Team Steam. All right. Now let's go to a few more here in the major leagues with the Rays taking on the Rangers. Here you got Zach Littell for the Rays going up against Tyler Mahle of the Rangers. Mahle a 5.4 ERA so far. Littell just a 1.5 ERA coming in for Littell. They did lose that first start there. Rays are 4-2, Rangers 5-2. This is a good game so far. The Apple TV game of the night. Texas comes in 5-2. They've won 2 straight. Of course, they won that series over the Reds with back-to-back 1-0 wins for Texas. How about that? For Tampa Bay, they did win the series over Pittsburgh, but lost the finale 4-2 to snap a 3-game losing streak. Littell, though, 1.5 ERA, 0.67 whip, 182 batting average against, and didn't walk anybody in that first start. These two teams are combined to go 2-11 to the under so far this season. Lots of unders with these two teams. Now, Texas does have some numbers against Zach Littell. A few of these guys in the lineup, 375 batting average, 3 home runs and 32 at-bats at a 12.23 OPS. Texas won as a slight favorite in Mahle's first start, and Littell, like I said, did lose. Let's go to the chat, Rays and Rangers. Thomas starts it off. He's on the Rangers. Luis is on the Rays here. Jermaine's on the under. Blues on the under. Philly Eagle Flyers got a bunch of those tied after the second inning. I think that's all those games right there. Thomas is on the under here. Tyler from Westminster High there says wine time. Says he's faced Mahle there before. Robert's on the over. Twisted says Rays money line. This one's back and forth, huh? Here's Tariq on the Rays here. All right, I better make my call, and I better make it good. I better wait. I want to see if you guys, I don't know, did seem a little bit back and forth, but Thomas follows it pretty closely. So, all right, nothing maybe though, and maybe I can sneak my play in here and be right once in a while. I've got to take the. Well, let me see here. I want to make sure I get the play right here in this one, and I've got the Texas Rangers as my play here tonight. At home, I'll take the Rangers in this one. Let me see a little Tampa on the road. The Sharps are going to be on Tampa here, I'm pretty sure, but I'll take the Rangers. Okay, the Reds are taking on the Brewers. Let me update the line here. Like I said, we know we got Tyler Alexander going. The line here is 120. I'll call it 125, maybe 130, 8.5 under 20. That sounds pretty close. There we go. In the game between the Reds taking on the Brewers here tonight. Brewers come in 3-4. The Reds are just 2-5 so far this season for Milwaukee here. And like I said, with Alexander here, a late starter. I'll say late starter, but does have 2 starts so far this season, 5.4 ERA. Doesn't run deep at all, but this is game 2 of the series after these two started their series yesterday. It was in that game, Milwaukee won just 1-0 there in that season home opener anyway. For Martinez here, he is 0-1 with a 6 ERA, 0.83 whip, and a 182 batting average against. The Brewers are allowing 7 runs per game so far. The Reds are allowing just 2.9 runs per game. Good pitching so far for these Reds. All right, let's go to the chat here possibly. Take a look at this one following yesterday's game between the Reds and the Brewers. This is game 2 of the series here between these clubs. And we'll go to the chat right now and see what you have in this matchup here tonight. Cincinnati's lost 7 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams overall. 8 of the last 10 meetings between the two teams here in Milwaukee have gone under, dating back to last season. And we've got Luis might be on the under here. Luis is on the Brewers. Thomas is on the Brewers, but Tariq is on the Reds, and Robert is on the Reds as well. Martinez does have some success against this anticipated lineup of the Brewers. 64 at-bats, 11 hits allowed, a 172 batting average, 474 OPS. Martinez has had some success against the Brewers here, and likewise, the Reds lineup has done a little bit well against Alexander. Just a couple of guys, but who is it that took him deep? I think I have that here. Let's see here. I might not have it. We might have to move on. All right, let's see here. Oh, Spoon says Reds lost 3 straight, 1-0. They're out of relievers right now. Maybe take the Brewers here, he says. Twisted's on the Brewers. Robert's on the over. Jermaine is on the under here and says the Reds struggling right now with this offense. 3 straight 1-0 losses. How bizarre is that? Can you trust them here on the road? Like I said, Cortez came back there, and now the Brewers have a 3-game winning streak after everyone to kind of bury them a little bit. So that's a pretty good sign, I think, for the Brewers here. It feels like coming in, and I got to take the over, and I'm going to take the over in this one with Cincinnati and Milwaukee tonight. Let me go over here. All right, and I'm going to trust them to not score 0. Okay. That might be a little bit of a contrarian pick. One more in Major League Baseball tonight with Cleveland taking on the Angels here with Gavin Williams, a 3.6 ERA coming in, taking on Jose Soriano on the mound here for the Angels. He's 1-0 with a 0 ERA. Looked pretty good in that first outing for sure yesterday. Both pitchers went under in their first start. The Angels, though, are allowing 5.5 runs per game, but still they're 4-2. They had their losing streak, their winning streak snapped in that last game against St. Louis, but they still won the series 2-1. We're on a 4-game losing streak before getting beat up in that game. For Cleveland, of course, got swept by my Padres here to start the season right now, 2-4, but let's see what you guys have in this one between the Guardians and the Angels here in Anaheim tonight. And we'll go to the chat and see how you guys are playing. The widely reported steam did come in on the under here in this one. And right now, though, it is still 7.5. In fact, it's heavily juiced to the over, actually. Enough so that I think I want to stick a little over 20 in there right now. There we go. That should be fine. Man. Okay. Let's go to the chat and take your plays here in the final game of the night, Major League Baseball. We'll do this every day for the next 200 days or so. Right? All right, Guardians, Angels here tonight. I'm going to go to the chat before I stick my foot in my mouth. Let's see, because this is Thomas's game, right? Blue is on the Angels. Jermaine says another under here. I don't know. Thomas is feeling a little suspect. These are still the Angels, though. I don't know if they're going to be going, 667 this year. Angels money line and under. Here's Luis on the under here. Tariq is on the Angels. Spoon says Angels money line here. Soriano get those ground balls. Cleveland only hits left-handers here. Cleveland does have a little bit of success, though, I think, against Soriano. A few of these guys anyway, right? I'm showing that Soriano here is allowed 21 at bats, 7 hits, a home run to a few of these bats. Let's see who they are here possibly today. I think I have it here. Maybe I don't. Cash Kane on the Angels, Robert on the Guardians. And Thomas says the Angels are a consensus play. Wow. Okay. All right. If you guys are going to go with the Angels here, I don't know if I disagree with that. But I'm going with the over actually in this one. Give me the over tonight with Cleveland and the Angels. I'm not disagreeing with you. I just want to, give us two plays a little bit. All right. Thank you to the chat. Thank you to everyone for the Major League Baseball coverage there. Let's keep it moving right now and go to the NBA and kind of go quickly here. We got a big card, but Utah taking on Indiana here with Indiana, a 16-point favorite here, and the total 237.5. This one just keeps going higher. It feels like right now the widely reported steam did come in on the under here, but that hasn't stopped this total from moving higher here for sure right now. And let's take a look at some of the numbers today in this matchup. Kind of get everything in position here for a look at the NBA. Get your plays ready in the chat. We'll go over this NBA card. I think we're looking at them all here today, trying to keep pace of what's going on here in the playoff picture a little bit. We know Indiana, of course, in the top 6. They might be locked in, actually, to a certain extent in the 4th position here. So they're still going to the postseason for sure here. And Utah, they're toast. They're on a big, long losing streak right now. So not the best game. We won't need to touch on it for too long. Just give me your play if you want. And then we shall move on with this one. I'm going to lay it. Of course, I'm going to lay it. Give me Indiana to crush Utah today. I'll take them by 20 or so here. That'll be my play. I'll take the favorite. We're going to go fast on some of these guys here in the end of the season, you guys, if you know what I mean. And thank you, Yodi. Nice to see you today. Blue is on the team total under in that in that Utah game here. Tariq says Pacers first quarter, first half, full game trifecta. All right. Let's keep it going right now here with the Sacramento Kings on the road against Charlotte Hornets. Here in this one, you got the Kings favored in this one by 10.5, and the total here at 2. I know it's not 219, it's 217. Here, this one's been dropping lower for sure. Here, like a lot of these Hornets games right now. Sacramento comes in on a 3-game losing streak. In this one, they lost to Washington, Indiana, and Orlando. Charlotte's been pretty bad here. They did beat Utah, but didn't cover the spread against them. They actually did cover last time out against Indiana, getting the big points on the road. So, maybe, I don't know, maybe Charlotte can show a little bit of life. We know they're, 35-29 as an underdog. Sacramento hasn't been a great favorite here for sure. Now, the story for the Kings, they're fighting right now for the play-in. They are in at this point, but they lead Phoenix by 1 game. So every game important here, but Sacramento just needs to win. You don't want to take any chances. You don't want it to be close. Sometimes you got no choice, even against a bad team, but it is a kind of a must-win for the Kings to keep their hold on the number 10 spot, the final play-in spot here in this one. So let's see what you have. These Charlotte games are going under big time, 11-26 to the under at home, but man, you got to think the Kings want to run them out of the building, don't they, tonight? Let's go to the chat here. Tell me what you got. With Chad, good morning. Nice to have you here today. And let's see. Tariq wouldn't lay double digits here for sure. Siakam prop here. Spoons, thank you for stopping by. Robert likes the over in this one. I kind of like I like the over too. It's tough to go against these Charlotte unders right now, especially when they move like this. They usually always go under. I know that the move for me, I would think Sacramento, you want to go out there, you want to pump it up. You want to pump this pace even against sad sack Charlotte. It's just that Charlotte might have trouble getting their share of the points. Man, I want to take the over. I'm gonna take, if Robert did, I'm gonna take the over here as my play on the show. All right. And we've got Jermaine Kings there. He says he'll go for a little plus money, lay a couple extra points here, maybe get $1.20, $1.30 out of it there. All right, we'll keep on moving with these here. They're not great games. We know that. More double-digit spreads all the way around. With Phoenix taking on Boston here. Now we got some importance here as well because Phoenix, like I said, they're the outside looking in. They need to win. They're out of the playoff picture right now. So every game is important for the Phoenix Suns. They got to win. Boston finally tasted defeat last time out. Hey, we went against them in that game for sure. We were on Miami there in that blowout. But, just a little bump in the road for the Boston Celtics. I'm sure they're not phased by it here right now for Boston. They're stuck in the number 2 position. They're nothing. That's just it. Even the Boston Celtics could lose a little bit of focus and motivation when you know that your spot is basically secured there in that playoff position coming in, having clinched the Atlantic. So let's see if they can do it against a Phoenix team that's obviously going to have massive motivation here and getting a ton of points. Boston even could be in a mode where they're picking and choosing their spots a little bit to rest players. Jaylen Brown questionable. Big Al probable, Holiday probable, Porzingis probable. We know KD's out with that turned ankle, but still pressure on here for Phoenix to try to compete. The totals dropped here to 226, 225.5 or so. I mean, even the Suns, you got to think and be looking to compete here tonight, even with a short lineup. All right, here we go with Kings and under back for Twisted on that other game. AOD says they should smack them here. Thomas likes Boston in the second quarter. So let's see here. Blue likes them also in the second quarter. You guys have all finally given in to the Nasty Nate second quarter play. All right. There's Jermaine there. Chad says they'll just they'll blow them out of the water anyways here. They don't care. Boston will still beat them. Cash Kane says the Suns and the Celtics are playing for nothing. I totally disagree with that. I think the Suns are in desperate position right now. Oh, he does say the Suns come in hungry. Okay, maybe I misunderstood that. Tariq says Boston he likes the under here in this one. All right, and Robert likes the over in the game. Okay, I don't think we're having too much of an agreement there a little bit, but let's see here. I again remember when Boston was in that mode or middle, what was it? Early season, mid season, looked like they were really willing to take one off a little bit. I'm going with the Boston Celtics here. Blow them out. Give me Boston to still do it here. I think Phoenix might know that they're done here. They've got to win the game. And if they fall behind, it just may fall apart late. I'm going to take Boston tonight and lay it. Next up, the Pistons are taking on the Raptors here. The Pistons are favored in this one, more double digits on the road for these Pistons. Now, look, Pistons are, in the number 6 spot. They're not going anywhere. They're battling with the Bucks. They could finish 5th. They're not going to fall into the play-in here. And the Raptors, they're done. They're toast. So you have 2 teams maybe without, any motivation whatsoever. Yes, I guess there is a little bit of motivation there for the Pistons, but they just need to win to kind of keep pace with the Bucks, if that's the way you want to look at it. Both teams have lost 2 straight coming in, but the Raptors, they've been a good cover for sure this season. 22-15 against the spread at home, 36-25 against as an underdog here. But maybe these last 2 games with the season over, maybe they've gone into El Tanco. So still got to keep an eye on these Pistons here, but I don't know. For me, I'm going to take the points with the Toronto Raptors here tonight. Give me the points. I'm going to take Toronto here. Detroit would have to win by a dozen to cover this on the road. Look, they're better than them right now, but let's see what you got here in this one. Blues on the Pistons laying it. Jermaine, Raptors team total over. Chad says the Raptors get blown out by 20. So there's the Chad challenge there, it looks like. In this one, I'll go ahead and take Toronto. Just like the old days of Chad challenge. I'm only down 69-33. So give me the Toronto Raptors here in this one. And I think you guys might be Robert's on the over, but I was thinking under. right now. For Toronto, they've been going under here a little bit of late. I know we're not looking too deep into these series right now and some of the trends necessarily because, kind of throw them out a little bit. Okay. Let's keep it moving here right now. Let me see. Detroit 13-3 against the spread, last 16 against Toronto. There's AOD on Detroit. Detroit's won 5 straight against Toronto. Toronto is 12-5 against spread, their last 17 overall. But again, they're just toast here at this point. But I'll take them today, and Chad will take Pistons. Okay, great. Thunder and the Rockets now, with the Thunder favored on the road here by 7 in this one, maybe 6.5 now, 228.5. This one's gone down big time on the total so far. 3 points in overnight action here. The steam came in on the under here, and a little bit of move to the host Rockets here against the mighty Thunder, and covering every game from here forever, it seems like right now. Oklahoma City can't be stopped, covering every game. Now, Houston is coming in off of a win and cover over Utah. They blew them out without Fred in that last game, but man, Oklahoma City's covered so many games in a row right now. They won and covered 10 straight here. Houston just 2-5 against spread their last 7 games overall. 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams have gone over here. But for the Thunder, you got to look at their situation. I think they could still be thinking, hey, we got to hold on here. We got to hold off the Cavs for the number 1 spot. They're still 4 games ahead of them. I think 3 games ahead of them. I'm sure they'll still get the number 1 seed. So they just have to win. Now, the Rockets, they're definitely in a little bit of a precarious position currently, 3 games ahead of the Nuggets, but that's probably pretty good. They might actually be just stuck in that number 2 slot in the West. So maybe they also not totally motivated here to try to win. It'd be nice to beat the Thunder, certainly, but both teams might be in a kind of a complacent position, it feels like here. So let's see if you guys like this one. Oklahoma City, good game, but like I said, maybe just not real motivation here. Houston's won 13 of their last 15 games overall. Let's see here right now with Blue is on the Thunder here. Toucan likes the over here. And Chad likes to take the Rockets. Definitely want to take the Rockets, but maybe not going to make it here. Late in the season, a sharp capper like that. We got to fire in every game, though. I do anyway. Robert's on the Thunder in this one. That might be it from you guys. Again, we're wrapping it up here in some of these games, even though they have good matchups. Kind of tough to find, like I said, the motivation to a certain extent, right? All right, and for me, this one's a little wonky here, maybe. That widely reported steam did come in on the under. I probably got to trust it. Here's Gravy here. He's investing in sports because we're not, God damn, this is bad. I mean, 15 grand in one day. My life is a disaster here. All right, man. All right. Anyways, I'm going to take the under here in this one with OKC and Houston. I'm just yelling because I can't stop from screaming here. All right. Thomas says we've got a bunch of plays here so far, apparently. I think, is that the consensus plays there? Wow. Oh, he's out. Okay. All right, Thomas. Have a good day. All right. We got more in the NBA here. We're only halfway through the card right now. And we got the Cavaliers taking on the Spurs here in this one, with the Cavaliers favored by 13. The total, 241.5. A little bit of a move to the Spurs here. hey, the Spurs continue to show a little bit of fight here. They won a game last time out. Spurs were able to knock off Denver 113. I was like, we took the Spurs on the points. Remember, that was that wild game where you guys called in the chat, said, hey, this line's going to move. And I was agreeing with you, saying, look, the personnel is going to be Denver coming off that big wild game against Minnesota. The spread went all the way down to 2. It didn't matter. Spurs won the game anyways. For Cleveland here, they're still getting it done, winning games, covering some games. Maybe they've been a little bit favored by too many against a few of these. They just played the Spurs a couple weeks ago, right? And won the game but didn't cover. They won by 8 as a 14-point favorite at home. So you turn it around here and throw it back at San Antonio. Why wouldn't the Spurs be able to cover again at home here against a Cleveland team that, like I said, yes, they could try to catch the Thunder. I don't know if it's a total motivation, for them. It's tough to make up 3 games here with just a few games to play. Thunder ain't going to lose. So, yeah, Cleveland probably doesn't matter too much here, win or lose, actually. I mean, with all the Spurs, maybe showing a little life. I don't know. Let's see what you guys got here in the chat. We'll go quickly on some of these, but all right. Blue says Black Monday is coming for sure. No doubt about it. And Toucan here, he sold everything. I didn't. I'm buying more. I'll buy more today. Like I said, the thing dies, we all die. All right, let's see here. Robert going under here in this one with the Cleveland and San Antonio here. Hello to Sean in the chat today. Nice to have Sean here. Thank you. Great to see you, buddy. Really appreciate it. All right, so maybe a lot of motivation here, like I said, even with this situation. So I don't know if I can even get too fancy with it, but I'll try the Spurs once again. Give me the Spurs at home plus these points. And that's what Chad kind of says here. Let Spurs go on that initial run. Cavs don't take care. Then you can get them live at a number, and then they'll be favored by 8, and they'll cover and not cover the big spread. I think that's what he's saying there. All right. Thanks, Chad. Trailblazers will take on the Bulls here tonight with the Bulls favored at home, playing well. Against another team that's played pretty well here in the Portland Trailblazers. But unfortunately for Portland here, they're on the outside looking in. There's still a chance they could get it going here, but they would need some work. They would need some help. Meanwhile, Chicago, we know that they're in the playoffs here. They could move up a spot or 2, but they need to win and get a little bit of help probably as well. Half a game behind Miami, actually. Portland's won 2 straight coming in. And, been a good season. They'll probably end up short of the playoffs here, but they beat Toronto and Atlanta. Meanwhile, Chicago coming off a win over Toronto last time out. So let's see here what you got in this one on our big NBA card here tonight. Go to the chat. See what you have here with Portland taking on the Bulls here. And we've got Portland cover here, says Terrell. And Blue says maybe go take the Bulls in this one. I'm going to take Portland Trailblazers plus the points on the road. That's going to be my play. Take Portland here in this one. Again, Portland pretty highly motivated. The Bulls, yes, they can move up, but they are, assured a tough spot. No matter how you look at it, they'll be playing uphill all the way here. Maybe they could earn 1 home game, but okay, here we go. And here's Higgs here talking a little RBI props today on some of our action. Thank you to Sean. And a couple more here in the NBA. We got the Nuggets on the road taking on the Warriors. Now, the Warriors are favorite here in this game all of a sudden. They were, when I typed these in late last night, was a 2-point favorite. But right now the Warriors are even a pick, maybe even a 1-point favorite here. Probably personnel here for the I don't know, maybe the Warriors because they looked so good last night, but more likely Denver here and their adjustments to the injury report. We'll take a look at that right now and see with Jokic is probable, but they still have Murray questionable. All those guys that kind of missed some action, Brown, Porter, Gordon, they're all probable. Curry, there's late last night, the reporters were saying, hey, this could be Curry's rest day here. And you do have Butler. Remember, he injured that forearm. So I don't know where this move is coming from necessarily. I don't even know if I necessarily trust it. Maybe Curry is going to be in there tonight. But, look, he had a good game last night. And here, like I said, with the Warriors right now, they've won 4 in a row. They're trying to stay, move ahead of some teams here. They're, got to stay actually in the top 6. They're only a half a game ahead of the Grizzlies and the Warriors. So they do have full motivation. And the Nuggets, meanwhile, they're half a game ahead of the Lakers. They're kind of in the mix with these teams too, even though the Nuggets are a little bit ahead of these teams. So I don't know, man. Something feels amiss here. This is one where probably even I might say, let's wait on the personnel tonight. So we'll go to the chat, though, and see what you guys have here in this one. I got to put the graphic up there a little bit. Warriors -1, and the total is at a 235.5, maybe even 236. It's gone up. Here we go. Sorry about that, you guys. Here we go. I'm going to go to the chat. Good game, obviously, but what are they really going to do? Jermaine said when they asked him, yeah, okay, I got you there. But I think when you look at the, Curry is, even though I thought they were listing him. All right. Blue says the Nuggets getting back here following the road trip. That goes sometimes there, or first game on the road trip, I think is what saying. Okay, yeah. Warriors were on the road. They're back at home. Same thing for the Nuggets. They were at home. They're back on the road. I got you. Thank you. All right. Well, I got to make a call here in this one between. Maybe I'll just chicken out and go with the total probably here in this matchup. I got to go with the over. I got to go with the over after what I saw last night. If you tell me Curry and these guys are in, give me the over again. Right? It got certainly loose enough there last night in that game to go over. So give me the over. I'll just wimp out here a little bit. All right. And let's see. So Chad says, look, you got to go with the Warriors here if the Stars are in. And Gorky's got some plays there in Euro action. Thank you to Gorky there. Oh, he's also got Pagula in there. Okay. And he's also got Tommy Paul today. And he's got Anisimova today in the tennis action. How did my Kaboli match go? Did I get a win there with Kaboli? Yeah, he did win. So, all right, I got my 1 win overnight here. I didn't send anything out on this big tennis card, but I'll be playing some tennis today. All right, Gorky, more plays. Thank you. Terrell says Denver squad fresh. Yeah, because of Warriors last night. You're right. Good point. All right, I got one more here. No, we got 2 more. We're not done the NBA here. And then not much after that. We got 3 games on the ice. And hey, the markets have turned it around here. We're only down 9% now. Okay, Pelicans and Lakers here. With the Lakers favored by 13.5. Total 221.5 here. It's gone up on some widely reported steam coming in on the over here a little bit. Maybe a little bit of a move to the Pels, but Lakers, big favorite. They're on the back-to-back, obviously, following the game last night. But they are at home here. They lost that game to the Warriors, so maybe they can look to bounce back and get a win at least. against the Pelicans. Remember, they're mired in there. They're in fourth right now, and one game ahead of the Warriors now and trailing Denver by half a game. So a little bit of motivation. Lakers, in the West, it does feel like that 3 spot is kind of critical here. We know the Rockets are kind of clear, but even Denver would like to hang on. They kind of say, oh, Denver, they're one of those teams. They don't care what position they're in. I think third is probably a pretty good, something you'd want to be in. At least if you're, if that's all you can do. Right. So let's go ahead and go to the chat here. Like I said, we're not looking at the team trends necessarily here at this point. I mean, Pelicans are awful against the spread on the road, 12 and 26. Lakers are almost opposite at home with their strong spread record, 25 and 14 coming in. So here comes some plays here. Lakers team total over, and Blue got to go. Thank you, Blue. Great job, man, in the chat. So I'll just make the call. Looks like you guys are out of gas in the chat a little bit. Once Thomas leaves, nobody wants to make any picks. They feel like they're not being recorded anymore. All right. Hey, in this one, I got to go over with the another Laker game, and they're on a day's rest. We'll see. We'll see tonight. I say they're motivated here. The Lakers would like to possibly move up, but actually you got to wonder who's in, who's out here. LeBron's probable, but you never know with these guys. And for the Pelicans, they've been taking guys off that, putting guys on that injured list all the way here. Give me the over tonight. Pelicans and Lakers. One more here. Dallas and the Clippers. Here another decent game tonight with the Clippers favored by, they're more than that now. Clippers are favored by 10 here against the Mavs tonight. And the total here is 225.5 in this one between the Mavericks and the Clippers here. So let's see what you guys have here in this one tonight. Like I said, we're not going over too many, but we do know these Clippers, right? 12 of the last 16 meetings between these two teams have gone under. And while the Clippers perceive them as mostly an under team, right? Dallas has been going over a lot lately. Dallas 25 and 14 to the over on the road, 28 and 17 to the over as a dog, and 11 of the last 13 games for Dallas have gone over. So what do you see here maybe between the Clippers and Dallas here tonight? See that line going up, up, up. Clippers playing with the motivation of trying to get out of the play-in a little bit. They could see the writing on the wall if they can just get this win here, expected to win. Man, I want to take the Clippers tonight to blow them out, and I'm going to give me the Clippers over the Jazz tonight. Nothing from you guys. Maybe I'll put my graphic up there real quick since I blew it, but nothing from you guys, it looks like, in the chat. You guys are done. Here we got 69 of you watching right now, but chat all-stars maybe a little bit tired here of the basketball season. Glad Roberts would be on the Clippers. Terrell says, maybe some of those Lakers will be out. All right, I guess that's it for the NBA. Let's go to next. I'm going to go to the action here on the ice. We're going to go to the ice next with just 3 games here, right, with Kochetkov on the road here going up against the Red Wings. You got the Hurricanes, $1.90. Hurricanes are not great on the road. They're costing you a quarter of a unit per game so far this season so far the season's over practically right now. But Carolina, I want to correct something. For about 4 days, my NHL I was reading off, you guys are probably thinking I was crazy. I can't believe Rod set me straight on the afternoon show. For some reason, my NHL standings were not updating on my I used some databases. And I was reciting standings that were nearly a week old. That's why I was like, the Blues aren't even making the playoffs here. And that, of course, is a completely lie on my part. But my database was not updating the standings, basically, is what it was. So I had been misquoting. Now we got it right. We know that, a couple teams are locked in to to those playoff teams like Ottawa, right? We know Ottawa's win, but in the East, I kept saying five, and maybe it was when I was looking at that time, 5 teams competing for one spot. It's pretty much come down to Montreal and the Rangers and maybe Columbus, but not after last night's disaster. So apologize for that, but we did have it right. Other than the Blues, because we were behind by about 5 wins, and at that time they were out of the playoffs trying to fight in. I kept saying it's too little, too late for the Blues. Well, if you had 5 more wins on them. So I guess for probably about 7 or 8 days, I was off on the standings, and I do regret the error. But in the West, certainly it's St. Louis and Minnesota locked in. It feels like I was saying, oh, you got 4 teams in there, and now with Calgary looking bad, Vancouver's out of gas. It's St. Louis and Minnesota for sure in the West. So just want to apologize. No one said anything until Rod said, what are you talking about last night, Ramon? The Blues are in the playoffs. I was like, too little, too late. But when you're 5 wins behind there. So I fixed I'm not an engineer. I'm not a great programmer. But anyways, we're all caught up on that now. Let's get into this one, though, with Carolina winning 3 in a row. That much I know over Washington, Islanders, and Montreal here coming into this one. The total is at 6 under. At minus 120 coming in. Even maybe I can still fire up the goalie computer at least for these matchups here today. And actually, I just want to kind of get the picks out there. The show's running a little long. And, well, now that I know for sure what's going on in the standings anyway with Carolina, we know that they're already clinched it up and they're locked in there in second place in the Metro. Meanwhile, for Detroit, like I said, it would take a miracle. They'd have to win them all. They'd need some help. They'd need some teams to lose. They can still see the potential of the postseason, it feels like here, but I don't know if they're necessarily going to get it. Still, at home, I might be willing to take them here on this, maybe on this puck line, but it's not a great puck line either. I think it's $1.65, right? So, but with only 3 games, I'm going to take the Red Wings here on the puck line plus a goal and a half at minus 150. All right, and in the chat, it's Robert on the under. We're working quickly. Nobody likes the card anymore. Here's the Blackhawks. Yeah, 425 for the Caps, so I can see why nobody wants to comment. Maybe Washington's lost. They're in a slump here too, but Chicago's lost 4 in a row. Washington's been losing a few games here too on Obi watch. Here, maybe the pressure is getting to the Caps a little bit. You want to be falling apart now. I've got Lindgren in there tonight. Even I've got Lindgren in there tonight. Is that a confirmed here? Last night I had Thompson, but let me go to the goalie computer here real quick. Yeah, no, not confirmed yet. Cam Talbot is confirmed there for the Red Wings. We had that one right. But I think it will be Lindgren actually here for the Caps here today. So that might take some people. I mean, never going to take you off going up against Chicago, is it? But gosh, even 420, 425 here in this one, I'll go ahead and lay it. It is, pretty much 75 cents at least higher than it should be. But late in the season, 3 games on the card, I think Washington's got to get this one with the Obi watch going as well. Obi's anytime goal scoring prop today. What is it, $1.50 or so today in this one? So I'm sure everyone's going to be hot on him today, but I'll just take the Caps. Nobody's picking anything. So, all right, one more here. The Wild taking on the Islanders. You guys want the show to probably be over. Stop talking, Ramon. And I might want the show to be over. Minnesota taking on the Islanders here because, hey, we're having a big market rally here. We're only not down 11,000. We're only down 8,500. All right. Islanders here on a big losing streak. Minnesota's on a losing streak too right now. They've lost 3 in a row as well. They're close games against the Rangers and the Jets for sure. But look, for the Islanders here, you look at their situation. They're not going to be able to make it here as well. They're pretty much toast. But for Minnesota, what's their motivation necessarily right now? I think 5 points clear of Calgary is probably pretty good. And so, maybe the Islanders could think that they have a little bit left in the tank here. I don't know if I could recommend them as a premium. I'm going to take the Islanders on the show. Give me the Islanders tonight. I think the show's over, except for, Robert went against me. You don't see that too often. Thanks everybody in the chat. Let me pick. Hey, we already got our pick on Michigan, so I won't worry about the graphic there or anything on the Michigan Panthers tonight. I'll take them here. I didn't really have a pick in that game, but I will say this: there are our 2 big games here tonight. And I've got plays, of course. I've got plays here in the women's action today. This is what you've all been waiting for, all 66 of you, right? We finally lost a game in the women's tournament, and it took it barely went over, right? I think it had an under, and it went over by 2 or 3 points that last game. But man, what a women's tournament I've had across all the networks here. So I know you guys are waiting. I like the under here in this one with Texas and South Carolina. I'm already on South Carolina to win the national championship, and it's not a great price. I think I got it at 9-2. So it's not awful either. Got it quite a while ago. So a good price when they were a little bit, the South Carolina. I figure they're going to be a great team. My favorite player in college basketball is on South Carolina, Tiana Pau. She's my favorite player right now, so I'm rooting for her. I've got the under, though, in this one with Texas and South Carolina. And one other game tonight, I'm on these UCLA Bruins with Betts. She's great. A really great season for UCLA. They're the hottest team. I feel like they're the team that kind of has been coming on a little bit. Look, they had great matchups, but the USC games were incredible. Remember when I made those guys watch the UCLA USC game on that stream earlier this year, and it became the big game of the night there when we were on our Thursday night broadcast? And maybe the other games weren't so good. By the end of the night, I had the boys watching UCLA and USC earlier in the season. UCLA, remember, won that game there, and maybe USC at the time with Juju. And you know what? Congratulations to Juju on her award. They're so sad we couldn't see her compete in the final games. But I'm going to take the Bruins. Come on. Connecticut, lovely. Hey, you're great. Connecticut, you're awesome. This UCLA team looks good. I'm going to sprinkle the money line here tonight. Nobody said anything about women's college basketball, but I want to thank everybody for joining me here on the Morning Steam Show. Hope we covered it all. We didn't even get a chance to mention the Friday fixtures, but we do have some soccer action coming up in Italy, in Spain, Mexico tonight, including my Tijuana Xolos in a near toss-up with Necaxa. There. Also, Leon and Querétaro, Tigres and Puebla. Also action in Germany and France. Here the Friday fixtures here tonight. Italy, Udinese and Genoa. Spain, Espanyol and Vallecano. Bundesliga, Bayern Munich and Augsburg. France, Nantes and Nice going at it. Thanks, everybody. Let's do a drawing here and see who is going to win in the giveaway. Thank you, everybody, for joining me here on the Morning Steam. If you want more plays from me today, don't forget to join me over at winnable.com. That's where I've got my premium plays. It's only 56 cents a day when you use the promo code STEAM to save 20% off all premium pick packages, including mine here. So please check me out. Support me here on the channel. If you want me to come back and do 2 more hours tomorrow, subscribe today because you know what? It hasn't been great. Not sports. I'm just talking about the world. but we're having a big rally here all of a sudden. Maybe we're going to see the error of our waves. The crypto's going up all of a sudden. All right. Did see what is this a new note here in the UFC? Yes, we do have. I think this is. I don't know if this is breaking news or not. Let me see here, real quick. I think in the UFC, maybe this was overnight. Actually, one of the fights has been canceled, or there's a new opponent here. Let me see here. Maybe you guys can tell me. You guys are the experts here. But the fight between Martin Budai and Kennedy Nzechukwu has been canceled, and Nzechukwu can't go, apparently. So Uran Satabaldiev is coming in to take on Martin Budai there in this matchup at the UFC. And Nzechukwu was a $3 favorite over Budai, 340, 350. But Nzechukwu out of the bout against Budai, and now Budai has a new opponent in Satabaldiev, and Satabaldiev, I believe, is a favorite here at $1.55 over Martin Budai. But we did see it was yesterday. Okay, it was with yesterday was the withdrawal. Okay, so it wasn't necessarily breaking here. It broke yesterday. Man, broke all yesterday there. Okay. All right. It broke yesterday. So here we go. Let's do the drawing here real quick and get this show on the road. Let's see who wins. Thank you, everybody, for joining me here on the Morning Steam Show. Catch it tomorrow 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. Have more Morning Steam. Of course, you better believe it's Terrell. Thank you, Terrell. I think Terrell's actually, I think he's won. Do I owe Terrell money? I don't know. I might owe Terrell money. Well, if not, maybe he'll win this one today. Thanks, everybody. Great time with you today. Hope I wasn't too obnoxious here whining about we're all in it together. If you guys have, I have a retire, I'm not retired. I'm here every day working here with you guys, but I have a retirement account. It's not looking good. But who is? We're all, it's not just me. We're all whining. Okay. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. Join Mikey Money today, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific for pre-gaming. Mike will get you ready for the nighttime action here today with Major League Baseball, NBA, NHL, and don't forget, check out all the UFC content that we have ready and up on the channel for the weekend. And really appreciate you. All right, I guess that's it. Thanks, everybody. Catch you tomorrow, more Morning Steam for the Sports Money Network. I'm Ramon Scott. So long.
Gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the Morning Steam. What? Ramon Scott. Sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money.